Greetings! Welcome to another episode of Porygondolier. I really like ghost-type Pokemon, and I also really like ROM hacking. And over the last 2 years, I've slowly been learning how to make changes to Pokemon Red, with adding new Pokemon, new moves, an Eevee that has an unhealthy relationship with evolution, and of course a mechanic which lets you push people around for recreational purposes. Well, the natural progression seems to be to work on bigger and bigger projects, and I've been wanting to do something with the ghost type for quite a while now. Something which isn't Shedinja, but might also include Shedinja. This is Pokemon Red Ghostlocke, name very much subject to change. If you're thinking, wow, that looks rather colourful, that's because I'm using the delightful PokeRed GBC engine by Danny E. The game mechanics are Gen 1, but we get the benefit of more colour. As you might guess from the title, this game will have a Nuzlocke aspect to it, but with a spooky twist that I think should be quite fun. Ghostlocke is a term you can go onto the internet and search for, if you'd like to, but the results you get may vary. So today, I want to introduce the core mechanics that I'm referring to as Ghostlocke. Firstly, the Nuzlocke bit. You already know what that is, but just to be sure, here's the most basic version of the Nuzlocke rules. You can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter in each new area, and when they faint, you can't use them anymore. That's pretty much it. Normally, Pokemon that faint, you'd probably put them in a box, or if you feel like taking it to the max, you could go ahead and release them. In this project, Pokemon that faint become ghosts, for a process that, to avoid making it too morbid, I'm calling ghostification. Yeah, I haven't given that name much thought, but everything is subject to change. So we'll have Pikachu here faint, and after fainting, we see that it becomes a Ghastly. It's completely healed and has the proper moveset of a Ghastly, but this is the same Pokemon that just fainted. It has the same level, same DVs, same EVs, and most importantly, the same nickname. Currently, the game only has the 3 ghosts of Kanto, and Pikachu had no choice but to become a Ghastly, since I've included a mechanic to prevent the resulting ghost from being underleveled. If we try it with this Articuno, we can see it goes ahead and turns into Gengar. And here we also get to see another mechanic, which I don't have a name for, but we can just call it Special Moves. When a Pokemon ghostifies, it has a 25% chance to learn a special move. Most of these are selected from the Pokemon's egg move lists, and for Gengar, it will be Perish Song, but for the time being, it's Pound. But as you can probably guess, this isn't the end. When a Ghost-type Pokemon faints, it completely vanishes from your party. There's no depositing or releasing involved here, the entire process is automatic. Oh, you'd like to load your save to try that again? Tough luck! Your party data is saved every time a Pokemon ghostifies or vanishes. So sure, you can undo some of your progress, but the consequences are locked in. This took me down a pretty deep rabbit hole investigating how the save functions work, and I was able to do something pretty cool. Pokemon that vanish aren't actually deleted from existence, they just get transferred to your save data. Specifically, I've made use of boxes 10, 11 and 12 in Bill's PC. These boxes will be inaccessible to players, so apart from the glaring lack of boxes in the PC, you'd have no idea that your Pokemon aren't truly gone. Although I suppose that was probably a pretty major spoiler. Everything is subject to change. This is something I'm thinking of leveraging for some kind of post-game quest to bring back your fallen buddies in the future. But it's also super important for the other big change I've had to make as a result of the Ghostlocke mechanics. When you black out in this game, by definition of the way it works, your party will be completely empty. And as we know, wandering out into tall grass without any Pokemon is dangerous. So here's how it works. When we black out, as long as we have some Pokemon in Bill's PC, we'll be transported to the inside of the last Pokemon Center we used, quite appropriately, right in front of the PC. We can try to leave, but we won't be able to. Oh, and yes, you also can't try to battle Ice Lady empty-handed. Once you withdraw a Pokemon, you can go on your merry way and continue your adventure. But what if your PC is completely empty? Game over? Well, not quite. Let's say you have no Pokemon left in the PC, but you just so happen to have left a Dugtrio with the daycare man. In this case, your player will cleverly transport to the daycare man's house, where you'll discover that the payment has already been made. And again, we can now continue on our adventure. But okay, let's say your PC is empty and you don't have a Pokemon at the daycare. This is game over, right? Well, basically, yes, but also no. In this case, you'll find yourself back in your bedroom, enjoying some Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the SNES. When you go downstairs, you'll find this mysterious lady, called here by your mother. After speaking to her, she'll perform a special ritual to bring back one of your Pokemon that has vanished, chosen completely at random. After which she'll disappear, and you'll hear an eerie voice whisper in your ear.
The Ghostlocke has ended in failure.
I'm not sure if that's actually an eerie voice or not, but never mind, let's move on. So yes, this is a kind of soft game over. We can continue playing the game, but the Ghostlocke challenge itself has been failed. And this is pretty much as far as I've gotten so far, and there are many things left for me to do. In the coming weeks and months, I plan to add over 50 new Ghost-type Pokemon to the game, including some with complex gimmicks and mechanics. And I'll also be adding just about as many moves as I can fit. Some story elements are likely to be tweaked slightly to fit the ghostly setting, and the TMs in the game will also be getting an overhaul. Oh, and I'm still a little on the fence on this one, but it's quite possible that healing your Pokemon through conventional means will be off limits. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's all I have for you today. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these little update videos as I work on the game, and if you'd like to get involved, we have a channel dedicated to it over on the Porygondolier's Discord, link down in the doobly-doo. And as always, I'd like to wish you a wonderful day, and I look forward to welcoming you back to another video soon. For now, bye!